I have been wondering how to make a Super Bowl pool for years, and I finally got the nerve to ask more questions, and it really isn't that difficult for anyone to do. The first thing I think would be to create your board, and this is just on a piece of paper, but typically it's a poster board that's used, and it consists of a grid of 100 squares, 10 by 10. One of the teams would go across the top. This year we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The other team goes vertically. Here in the margins would be the score numbers, 0, 1, all the way through 9. We'd go all the way across and all the way down. If you're creating a board, you're going to want to have we put chromosome 18 on top so that everybody knows the funds go to chromosome 18. The price of your square should be a little bigger than this, but I had my 12-year-old daughter draw these for me. So you want to advertise the price of your square as well. Basically, when somebody wants to buy into your fundraiser, they're going to pay the price. We do $25 for however many numbers of squares they want to claim. They can pick a specific number, or we've been having our chromosome 18 kid, Sydney, blindly pick or randomly pick. We've been doing Facebook Lives to have that done. So the names will go into your squares, and when it's filled, that's when you can randomly place the scores along the margins. The numbers on the grid won't really mean much at that point, because this is what's going to determine what your participants watch for during the Super Bowl. At the end of each quarter, there's going to be a score between the two teams. And I've been using 10 for this team and 14 for this team as my example. So we don't have any numbers along the margins, but if we did, and Tampa Bay ended with 10 at the end of the first quarter, we would take the 0 from their 10 and find the 0 column, and we would go down the 0 column. We would take the 4 from the Chiefs' 14 score and find that row, and where the two meet up, that block is who will win the winnings for quarter number 1. The other half of that is you flip the score for the reversal, and we would put a 4 along the top. So we'd find the 4 column, and we will put the 0 over here and find the 0 row, and it will be a different square that's meeting up. So you'll have a second winner for the reversal. The winnings are a little lower, and we can talk about those, more specifically. It just depends on what your buy-in is. But either way, you'll have 2 winners at the end of each quarter and at the end of the final game. The winnings go up as you proceed through the game. And so people, like I said, they can request a spot specifically, but once you put those numbers along here, it's kind of all, it's all up to chance anyway. There's no skill, there's no multiples of 6s or 7s like other boards, and we don't mess around with coin tosses or anything. I've been asked other details I've never even heard about. So it's pretty simple, and it's all about just collecting those names and funds and giving back to chromosome 18. So we just filled up our board yesterday. We haven't put our margins on yet, but we're going to draw those randomly so that everybody has an equal chance instead of assigning in a row or in order. We'll post those again for everybody who participates so that they do know what scores they want to look for during the game. And then I don't know how we're going to work it because I've never done this before, but I'd like to try and pop on Facebook Live at the end of each quarter and maybe announce our winners or something like that. But basically, we've been utilizing the Facebook Live feature to create the enthusiasm and the exposure for our event. And it really grew yesterday, where I've been having help from other chromosome 18 families fill our boards because they're really successful at filling boards overnight. And this one, we've taken a few days, but Yesterday, our people seemed to finally catch on to the Facebook Live situation and our posts, and they saw our notifications finally, and they crawled out of the woodwork, and it was really crazy. We sold our last 14 squares, our last live last night. We were on for an hour. We were putting the names in of people who had already purchased the night and throughout the day, and that 1 hour, while we were filling those in, it just, here goes another one, here goes 4 more. And I mean, blown away at our participation and so touched that they're willing to give so much to Sydney. And I used her on camera because that's who they were attracted to. So it really, really helped. I wouldn't have been the same on camera selling these squares. Nobody really wants to see me do that. So having Sydney on really, really attracted everybody. I told her it was her charm. She didn't know what that meant. And I don't need that going to her head because she'll start talking about it out loud and saying all the things that should be kept inside. But it really did help fill in these squares. So now we've got $1,250, $25 a square, ready to go to the chromosome 18 registry. And we have $1,250 ready to go back to our 8 winners on Sunday.